What's good, y'all? It's Prodigy, man. Today, if you are a wrestling fan, then you know Monday Night Raw just happened, and it inspired me to make a video. So, if you watch Monday Night Raw, this is WWE. If you watch Monday Night Raw, then you know Cena came back. And this video is basically gonna be about how they did terrible on having him show up tonight. So, you don't even have to be a wrestling fan to watch this video, because you know who John Cena is. That was like the last guy from wrestling that, like, you know who that is outside of, like, people know who John Cena is without watching wrestling. That's how big of a star he became from it. He's the last person that did that. There was Hulk Hogan, right? You could say Randy Savage, right? You know, for the people who, I mean, maybe not the younger people would know that, but, you know, it was him, you know, Ultimate Warrior, who else? Obviously, The Rock, Stone Cold, big names like that. And then there was John Cena. That was the last person that got to the mainstream audience. So basically, I'm in a Discord, right? And look, there was no shade. There was no shade at all. So I was in a Discord, and somebody basically said that they enjoyed, they were like, oh, another great promo by the GOAT himself. And I said, personally, I feel like they could have used him for something bigger. I mean, I get it. His 20-year anniversary. Obviously, he was going to cut a promo about appreciating the crowd. I didn't have an issue with the promo, but the issue I had was that was it. Like, they just used him to do his normal shtick, right? Be the superhero to the kids, the inspirational stuff, right? Cutting a promo on how it's all about you guys, it's not all about me, and I thank you guys brought me here. That's fine. Like, I was like, okay, I get it. That's his thing. And it's like, it's real. Like, that's how he really, truly feels. And him being a nice person and that never give up attitude, that's like literally who he is. It's not just like a character he puts on for wrestling. That's really who he is. And, you know, he does what he does for the kids and, you know, has the most make-a-wish. Like a great person, right? That's fine. But if you just have him do that and then walk off and then the rest of the show is just boring. That's it. It's like the rest of the show is just, it just goes back to normal Monday Night Raw. Are you seriously gonna be saying in the Discord like that when we was going back and forth? Because that wasn't really an argument, because I knew what I was saying was correct. It's like, are you really gonna say that, oh my gosh, fans are always complaining? It's not me complaining. It's me saying, if you're gonna have one of the biggest stars from wrestling come back for the selected few dates that he is able to come back, because let's be honest, Cena was gonna come back regardless. The 20-year anniversary thing, although it's true, it is a 20-year anniversary of wrestling, they were going to have him come back anyway. The 20-year thing was just to make it seem like it wasn't a random Monday Night Raw. It was John Cena's 20th anniversary. They just said, they just promoted that so it didn't seem like it was a random Monday Night Raw. Because either way, even if it wasn't his 20-year anniversary, he was coming back. So they just made him come back then to make it seem like it wasn't random. So that's why they did the whole 20-year anniversary thing. That's why they said, even though that was his actual 20-year anniversary, it was basically convenient. It was convenient that it was his 20-year anniversary. So now it wasn't just like going to be a random Monday Night Raw. So, yeah, that's what I was telling people. I was just saying, if you're going to have one of the biggest, and I'm thinking of this and I didn't even grow up in the era of the 90s, right? I'm thinking of this as a business guy. If I have John Cena in my promotion, biggest star, instantly going to get me a ratings pop. More viewers are going to watch just when they hear that he's coming alone. Do I seriously want to have him just go out there and cut a promo and that's it? Just in the same thing, right? In, hey, do this, it's all about you guys, inspire, go for it. And I don't mind the message. But it's like, if that's all you're going to do, then what do people like John Cena for if that's all he does? If that was like all he did, right? Like, you wouldn't have fell in love with John Cena if that's all he did, right? Didn't have dope storylines or didn't have great promos, right? His feud with Edge, his feud with Punk. If it wasn't for his feud with Orton, his feuds with JBL. Like, nah, if you stripped all the feuds away and he was just what he is, like, right, just preaching the message, you really think he still would have gotten over if that's all he did? Because anybody can do that, right? Walk out there and tell people, hey, believe in your dreams and do all that stuff. Anyone can do that. But to be able to do that, wrestle, and then cut a promo that can captivate people based off of, like, for the most part, real things about people, Like, or when you're able to incorporate someone's real life situation to the feud, like that's when it takes someone special to do it. And then to do it like years, that takes a special person. It don't take a special person just to tell you to believe in yourself. Anyone can say that. I could tell you what he just told you. But what I couldn't do is, well, I don't know if I really wanted to do it that bad, probably. But what he was able to do that makes him special is carry the company on his back for the time that he did. Be the guy, although it got boring at a certain point. Still, be the company guy and be able to do it. Because, wrestling, I think it's like you wrestle like, when you're a full-time wrestler, you wrestle like 300 or more days out of the 365 days that they're on a year. You're wrestling for like 300 and something of it. Not the whole 365, but it's like less than 365, but it's still in the 300s that, like, in terms of how many days you wrestle a year. So you're spending a lot of, like, when you're full time, you spend a lot of time away with your family and all that stuff. So that's when it takes a special individual. And then on top of that, you're getting over with the fans, like they're cheering you and they care when your music plays, whether that's a boo or a cheer. They care about what you're gonna do, and now you're like, that's what separates you from everyone else. With any jobber, you go like, okay, you're just gonna get on your phone, right? Go on Twitter or whatever, look at whatever. But then when you hear like Stone Cold's music go off, you're cheering, or The Rock, you're cheering, John Cena, you're cheering, you're booing, or you're both. So it's just one of them things where it's like, that's what separates you from all the other wrestlers. When you come out there, the crowd, whether they like you or not, they're at least saying they have a reaction and they know how they voice how they feel about you, which makes you to them important. So the issue I had was, if you're gonna bring him back, why would you just do it for what people already knew they were getting? Wouldn't you use like someone like Theory, which is the big talk, right? Use Theory to have him interrupt him. Like, he did a little promo backstage, but that was it. Like, you could have been building that story. My bad. You could have been building that story literally throughout the show. You could have been building that story, right? Him talking, it was not a bad little promo, a little conversation that he did have with him earlier in the night. But I'm saying, you could have had that as just the beginning. That could have just been the initiation. And then later in the night, he destroys him. Like, beats him up. Because that way, people, like, know Austin Theory's not playing around with John Cena. He's not, like, he's going to be taken seriously. He's not just going to be another guy that John Cena is going to face. He's going to, like, really make a name for himself out of it. So you could have had that be the theme of Monday Night Raw tonight. Cena having a potential match with Theory. That's what you could have made the theme of Raw tonight. Because guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Raw does not have one interesting, captivating, big storyline at all. Not at all. Bianca and Carmella, what are they doing to just, like, grab your attention? What are they doing to do that? Nothing. They ain't doing nothing. What is Bobby Lashley and Theory doing that's interesting? Nothing. Leading up to their match of the Money in the Bank. No shade to Roman, but we don't have, our world champion has not defended. This would be the second pay-per-view that the world championship is missing out on because he's part-time. And I actually don't, to me, I'm not even against him being a part-timer. I get it. When you get a lot more fame and you've been carrying the company for a little bit, and basically when they throw it, like, I'm not even, as some people are, I'm not even against Roman part-timing, because if this dude puts everything on you, like with Cena case, right? Everyone's like, oh, well, Roman's he's so weak. Like, Cena did it for years, and he's complaining about doing it for like a year and a half, and he's already trying to leave. First of all, that's not even the case. It's just now he's looked at as the guy. He was being pushed as the guy for a while. He just wasn't. Now he is. And they're putting everything on him. There's not like back then it was like balance, right? It was like there was Stone Cold and The Rock, or, Hogan and Flair, or like HBK and Bret Hart, however you want to do it. Like, there was like more than one guy. With Cena, it was like he at least still had talents every now and then, like, CM Punk or did he have anyone else other? I think in like 2011, throughout that little time span, I think that was it. I think it was just Cena and like Punk in terms of who were like at least the potential, At least he was like a potential guy of the company that they just didn't fully go full throttle with. Yeah, so it was balanced, or like him, and you can even say Orton. I never thought Orton was the guy though. I always thought he played. Yeah, he was a big heel, but he never was like they never made him into the guy. Like he was never the face of the company. They didn't like Stone Cold was in The Rock, like faces of the company. Randy Orton never was like the face. Like he was never like the main focus. And even if you say he was, it was to fuel someone else, right? Like he was used to fuel John Cena. He was used to put over someone else. So, it's just one of those things. This is going to be a longer video, as you can obviously tell. But it's just one of those things where I'm like, if you're going to have someone come back and you know they're a huge star, wouldn't you use it to have them propel a new talent, a new star? It's sad that me and few people think that. Why are we the only... And it's not complaint. Like, I hate when people say, like, that's complaining. Because you said... And what you said, it wasn't an opinion. If you're backing it up with logic, it's not an opinion. It's not an opinion if you're backing it up with real statistics. Like if I said Raw has not one captivating storyline that on television that's interesting anyone, whether that's wrestling fans or people who just want to see, like, you know, the casuals, right? Just click on they're on the remote and they come by Monday Night Raw. Just want to see if they want to continue watching it. There is not one story that is captivating them or the people who watch wrestling consistently. There's no storyline that they have that is captivating people. They barely have any storyline. Like I say, like Lashley and Theory as like just picking stuff, like finding something that's somewhat they're trying to make a story. That's not even really a story because there's nothing big happening. So it's not really a feud. If you consider what they're doing is a feud, which is just having Lashley in just random matches, like him to get in the pose off in the, you know, fighting 3 individuals to get a title match with Theory, and then just now having him go on a 2-on-1 handicap match. That's not a feud. That's just you stalling to get the Money in the Bank. That's not a feud. It's you're looking for the most random thing to make it seem like it's a feud. Having Theory as the guest referee for a match. Like, you're just doing random stuff. Like, Theory has no relation in terms of storyline. He has no relationship or chemistry in terms of, like, any type of, like, whether that's story or character. Like, Theory and Alpha Academy, they have nothing in common with each other. They don't. It was different with like MJF and Punk, right? It was his lackeys. He was looking for people to keep putting Wardlow against. You know, it's different, right? Even though that was pretty redundant, people that was a part of his faction. And he was like paying them off. Like he was paying them off to wrestle him and to beat him and to make sure and ensure that he doesn't, get to face him. And it was promos too, right? It was segments and promos as well. That's when it's a storyline. Did I say MJF and Wardlow? I thought I said Punk by mistake. So yeah, Wardlow, MJF and Wardlow. If I said Punk, I thought I said Punk. Like it was different. That was a story, right? Because they mixed it. Like it was okay. You're attacking Wardlow. You're forcing him to wrestle all these people. You're not having them come out to his music. You're having them be restrained by security and have him in handcuffs every time he comes. Like you're doing more than just I'ma be and they did some of the stuff they did, right? Special guest referee. They did all that stuff too. But like they're doing a mixture of things to lead up to their match. They're not just doing like they're not coming up with stupid stuff like a pose off. What is a pose off gonna do with Theory? What is Theory posing off and Lashley posing off together? You have to lead to Theory and Lashley by having somebody attack someone during a pose off. Why is that how you're igniting the feud or how you're starting it? Anyway, it's just basically the point I'm saying is if you're gonna have, because I don't want to make this video too long, if you're gonna have a big star that you know isn't gonna be there full time ever again, is only gonna come maybe 3 times a year. if you're gonna have him come that many, if you're gonna able to have the big star from the company like him come and face or come and show up, make it count because you already don't put enough effort into the you already don't build stars, right? There's like some, right? Only people I think is a star in the company is like Roman, Cody, maybe Seth, and like Edge and Brock. That's it. No one else is like a star. So, and then the Judgment Day, they haven't been. You would have thought, right? Judgment Day, I would say, would won. No, because they're not doing anything. I think they just set up a match between the Mysterios. But yeah, until Edge comes back, they're not doing anything. They're not in a feud until Edge comes back as a face. So, when people go, when I say, hey, Cena should have been utilized to ignite a feud so that it's more than just Cena cutting a promo. Now we're getting, like, when Monday Night Raw goes off, you're able to talk about, man, I can remember when Cena got attacked and got beat up with a steel chair. In theory, gets booed out of the arena. I can remember that. Are you seriously going to remember another inspirational promo? That what you can't even remember what he said. You're just going to be like, I just remember him saying, never give up. But even then, that didn't make you want to watch next week. So this is what I mean by like when you don't build something with the people you are given. They don't need Cena. They just refuse to build other stars. Cena is a star, a mega star. So therefore, he's automatically, you can't, water him down because he's already a big star in the company. So you can't book him in any way that would remove that. They don't build new stars. That's all it is. They don't need Cena. Like people are like, it was stupid. Like people were literally making videos like sappy, and I love Cena too. But people were making sappy videos like, "We miss John Cena. Please come back. This, and that. We love you." Like, dude, calm down. It's cool to see him come back, but it's like, geez, if he's not in a feud and he's not serious and he's not like, because the promos he'll have a Roman, which is talking about like real life stuff. You were interested because you're like, okay, he's talking his stuff. He's getting serious. He's getting aggressive. But if he's just there to do an inspirational speech, which I don't have a problem with, but if that's it, why do you like him? He's a great person. Cool. But if you're talking about, remove all that. If you're talking about strictly wrestling, which is found upon by character, storyline, and then the matches. Like without storylines and characters, matches are. It just looks like two men wrestling in a scripted choreographed match. That's all it is. If you remove stories and character, that's all it is. They just look stupid without a story and characters. They just look stupid. So what I'm saying is, to wrap up this video, is about to hit 20 minutes. When you have a big star and you have someone that's you refuse to build anyone else. So when you have the one big star, use him to propel your company. Don't have him do the same thing. Use him to build your company up by having him be in a feud so that when Raw goes off the air, people have something to talk about and they won't be just disappointed and feel like they wasted their time. But that's all I had to say, man. And I'm backing it up with facts. That's why it's not an opinion. But love you and appreciate you if you made it this far in the video. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. Love you guys. Peace. If you want to have a conversation, put it in the comments, man. We can have a little talk. Peaceful talk. Don't have to argue. Anyway, love you guys. Prodigy's out. Peace.